All right, we're back at the Lease. It is August 19th and it's been raining all night. It's humid as all get out, but we're getting down to crunch time. We're only going to be in town for another 10 days or so, so we got to get some stands hung. We got a pretty good bit of inventory. So the big buck, he did show back up, and I'll show you pictures. I just still can't get a really good picture. He's either way in the background or like 6 inches from the camera. That was on the 14th. Can you see him? Mm-hmm. And then there's another picture of him. He's just a really solid deer. And then on the protein feeder that I put out, he was like, he didn't go eat out of the protein feeder, but he walked by it. And so it was like the ultimate teaser picture. Still can't really get a good gauge on exactly what he is, but he's big. I mean, he's big for me and he's big for the area in this situation. But we're gonna get some stands hung today. We're gonna kind of go through and show you how we like to set up for filming with a camera guy and for self filming. So we're gonna get these bad boys set up and try to get out of here before it gets too hot. So let's get after it.
What do you like about this one?
I like this stand because it's so light. This is the Sky Spice, the aluminum version, and it's super lightweight, easy to carry. I think that's the Blackjack. It's a little bit heavier, but it's got a little bit bigger platform. So I'm taking Pitts' advice on that and using that for the cameraman stand for the bigger dance floor, as he calls it. So, but this one's my favorite for sure. They come in the box really easy to put together, and they're just solid stands. So, all right, I'll be back to get you.
All right, I'll be here.
I don't know why you didn't bring your side by side. All right, this is the first spot that I ever put a camera here. This is that spot that's got all them white oaks back there. So I'm thinking, my thought process is most of the bedding is up here and that way. So you got to think in the evenings with a east wind, the deer are going to hopefully kind of funnel down through here back towards the water and those white oaks. But I got a pine tree picked out right here. It's on this road, which hopefully some deer will kind of use this road to travel. But as you can see, it's kind of like in a clump of trees, and I got a little bit of cover. I got some limbs, which is probably the main thing, especially when you're trying to film, either self-filming or especially with a camera guide, because you got a whole extra body up there. But that's kind of the main thing when you're thinking about hanging a stand, especially for filming, is cover, because you are going to have a little bit of extra movement moving the camera. And so we'll get this stand hung and see what it looks like up there. These things are pretty light. So with these stands, it doesn't necessarily matter which side of the tree that you put your steps on. With some stands it does. If your strap is, if one end of your tree strap is bolted on, you're going to want to hang the stand on the side that you clip it, just because you got easier access. So the first thing I'm going to do when I come in here, or anytime I'm looking at a spot, this is something that's kind of new from Onyx, and it's actually unbelievable information and technology. And I'll kind of show you what I'm talking about. So I'm going to drop a waypoint right here where I want to hang this tree stand. So I'm going to find my tree stand. There's my ladder stand waypoint. And so what I'm going to do on every single tree stand that I have is I'm going to use the wind direction tool, which is really, really neat. So we're going to show the current wind direction. So right now we know that we have a 3 mile an hour south wind. Another thing that's really cool is we can pull up our wind calendar, so we'll know right here in this direct spot what the wind looks like for the next 7 to 10 days. So the cool thing about this wind direction tool is I can go in on every single one of my tree stands and set the optimal wind. So in this spot, the way it kind of lays out is this bottom runs east to west. So predominantly in the south, we're going to get a lot of east wind in the early season. And so that should be perfect in this spot. Like I said, bedding up in front of us, lake back here. So most of the deer should come from this way. So we're going to set our optimal wind as an east wind, okay? East, northeast is good, and southeast is good. Anything with some east in it. So we're going to hit apply on that. So now for the next 7 days, I know that the wind pretty much every evening, let's just say we're gonna hunt in the evenings, I pretty much know for the next 7 days that the wind is bad. So it's a really useful tool. You can set that for every tree stand. It's all just one click. You just have everything right here at your fingertips for all the wind directions. So if you got a whole bunch of stands, it's just kind of quick to set that wind calendar and be able to kind of keep up with every wind direction for whatever stand you want to hunt. Really, really cool tool. All right, so kind of the main goal when I'm hanging a tree stand is to cut out as much movement as possible. So being a right-handed shooter, if I'm sitting down, bow's hanging right here, I want to kind of predict for the deer to hopefully come from this way. Main reason is you're already kind of set up to shoot this way. So if I'm sitting here, deer comes kind of from my front left at about 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock. All I gotta do is stand up, grab my bow, and I'm ready to shoot. So not always easy to predict, especially in the south where the deer are gonna come from, but that does two things. If you're self-filming, you cut out as much movement as possible, and if you got a buddy filming, it's gonna be beautiful right over the shoulder footage. So that's kind of what I think about when I'm hanging a tree stand for filming. But this thing's so easy to put up. And I really, really like the Sky Spy. Reason being, if you can tell on the GoPro, we're at a pretty steep angle, so no tools needed. You can move this bar into whatever slot you need to based on if the tree's angled this way or angled this way. Easy thing, all you gotta do is pick up on the platform, slide it into whatever slot you need. And that's what we need right here. Tighten her down a little bit. And this stand's ready to rock and roll, lightweight, easy. Slip right up the steps, be able to get into it really easy. So I want to get any cover out of the way that's going to prevent me from getting a shot, but I definitely want to leave as much as possible. I don't have a saw with me. So like this one right here, I don't want to completely take it off. So I'll lean it down. So now, got a perfect shot right here. I expect the deer to come from either down the road here or right up this draw. Got a perfect shot. So camera stand will go right here, and that'll have a perfect over the shoulder angle for your hunter. Or if I'm self filming, I'll put your tree arm will go right here. So everything's just easy to control. Bow right here. Everything's pretty straightforward. All right, it's got everything hung kind of how I like it. Again, when it gets to prime time, I like to stand, for the last 45 minutes or so, whether somebody's filming me or I'm self-filming. But like I said, cameraman stand right over the right shoulder. Cameraman will step on the seat, step right into this platform. Obviously we'll have a lifeline in here, but if I'd like to, when it gets prime time, I like to flip my seat up, be right up against the tree, kind of be streamlined with everything. We got good cover. And then if I'm self-filming, I'll just basically replace this tree stand with my camera arm. So camera arm will be right here, bow will be right here. Expect the deer to come from this way. So once I see deer coming, just got to grab my bow and I'm already kind of in shooting position. Main key is just try to get away with as little movement as possible. So that's basically how we like to set up our filming sets. A little bit bigger tree stand platform for the camera guy so he can maneuver around. But really easy to get up into. So that's how we like to do it. All right, I'm sweating, but we got it hung. I like it. It's a really sweet setup up there. But we're going to get some monster meal out. I'm going to keep doing some inventory. I think there's still a couple new bucks showing up about once every week. There'll be a new buck show up. So I'm going to put some more monster meal out in front of the Spartans. See if we can't pick up that big deer again. That's the goal. But it's almost 11 o'clock. We got to get back to the office. So another work day in the books. Hopefully it pays off. But I like this spot.